Welcome to Arrival Coaching's Thrive Movement 2018 interview series. I'm Beth Myers, your host and the owner of Arrival Coaching. I'm a Law of Attraction Empowerment Coach, I'm a mentor, and a speaker. And this year's Thrive Movement is about mothers and daughters. And it's focusing on highlighting thriving in real relationships. And REAL stands for Real Empowerment Allows Love. Thank you for watching as I introduce you to women who are daughters of the universe. Some are mothers and some are not. Each are welcomed to share and reflect on their roles as a mother or a daughter or both, and how that has influenced their journey to thrive and not just survive, and how they embrace real relationships to embrace their emotions and empower their connections with others, especially other women. Today, I would like to introduce you to my friend and my colleague, Nada Howarth. And Nada is a certified Master Law of Attraction coach. She's a light body teacher, a Reiki master teacher, a Quantum Success Coaching Academy instructor, mentor, and member of the support team for Christy Whitman International. Nada is the founder and the CEO of Nada's Essentials Life Coaching and Caregivers Oasis and Essential Connections. She is a highly acclaimed personal empowerment and relationship coach, energy healer, and in-demand meditation teacher. Nada has a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and she's also well known as a co-host for Live LOA Radio. She currently lives in Utah with her husband and her 2 cats. So Nada, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Beth. I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you. It's truly just a delightful honor. I don't know how else to describe it. So thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
You are so very welcome. It's lovely to share all of the gifts and the ways that you bring those forth in the world. And you just inspire me every day that I get to work with you and get to know you better from the time that we get to spend together. So thank you for agreeing to spend some time with me today and with my family in my Thrive Movement community.
It's really my pleasure, Beth. You are, my most dear goddess soul sister, and we've had so much fun together, and this is just another way that we can play. So I love it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So beautifully said. Well, we're going to play today with I'm going to ask you some questions that talk a little bit about your role as a mother, a daughter, or both. So the first thing I'd like to ask you is, can you give me 10 words or labels that would be used to describe who you are?
Such a powerful question, Beth. Thank you. Thank you. And, I have to say that the words that come to mind, although there have been many, is like fun and loving and flexible, smart, caring, calming, supportive, wise, unique, unstoppable, compassionate. And I don't know how many that is. I'm sorry.
That is okay. I just love how confident you were in expressing those words to describe yourself and how joyfully you just shared those. I wish that everyone was able to embrace that flow and that energy and just the inner knowing of all of those beautiful words that can be used to describe us.
I totally agree, Beth, and thank you. It's, I didn't used to be this way, so it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And it takes that inner work to be able to be so confident to be able to share that about ourselves a lot of times, doesn't it, Nada?
Oh my gosh, definitely, Beth. If you'd asked me that question even a year ago, I probably would have really struggled with it. And, I'm through, especially the last year, but years, I have become clearer and clearer on who I am. And, that's basically now what I mostly help people do, is get in touch with their authentic self to become more empowered and successful, just like I have.
That's awesome. And that's what I love about you, because you are real. You are so authentic, and I know that you bring out that authenticity even more in me when I'm around you and in your energy, which I know is all the time. But, it's amazing how that light that we can shine from ourselves and how it affects other people is, to me, just so amazing, to feel that and be in tune with that so much more than maybe years ago when there was that unawareness of light and energy and how we can then affect others, and how others affect us.
Totally, Beth. And really, really, it is about connecting with that inner part of yourself. I know at least that's what has helped me the most, and what continues to help me, because I have those moments where I do get little challenges to be thrown off by whatever is happening around me. And it's being able to reconnect with the truth of who I am that allows me to find that peace in, it doesn't matter what's going on. I can just be totally who I am, and confident and comfortable and knowing and trusting that everything is perfect.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Nada. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper with that. Which of these 5 words, the 5 words that you use to describe yourself, would you describe yourself best as a daughter?
Wow. Okay. So do I remember what I said? Okay. So I know fun and loving. I'm trying to put myself in my parents' shoes. Caring, calming, and supportive. It was such a huge role when I was growing up and what happened. So yeah. Did I give you 5?
I was counting on my fingers. I didn't do that for the first 10. Because I was in your energy of like, wow, I loved how it was just flowing from you. And but I did count the 5.
Okay, good.
Oh, good.
I love the fun.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit more about, some past kinds of things, if you'd like to play in that realm a little bit. And one question I've been asking every participant is, are you a mother?
I am a 4-legged furry kids, and a yard full of, oh my gosh, birds and deer and other little creatures that come and go. So yes, definitely.
Yes. I love that answer. And you and I connect on that level, because we are mothers in other ways than what you might traditionally think of that label of mother. And I've had several guests on that has been, I've loved the answers that different people have given, because it really, this interview series is about really peeling back some of those labels and taking those roles, being aware of the roles, but being able to peel back those labels to see that there are more than one way to look at a role than what we might think it might be. So
exactly. And I have that nurturing part of me that is definitely mother within me, and that is the way I get to express it in the world, is through all of my animal family. And I'm so grateful, because I would feel empty if I couldn't put that out into the world somewhere. Not that I don't also share it with, my nieces, nephews, and, people around me and their families, but truly, I love my animals. So.
Yes. And we might see them behind you at some point in time, right?
exactly. They may just pass through and,
Yes,
say hello.
that's awesome. Well, how would your mother have described you? You gave me some words that you talked about, how your parents maybe saw you, but for your mom in particular, how would she have described you?
This is such a powerful question for me in particular, Beth. And actually, my mom once told me that I had a very special purpose on this planet. And I do think that she thought of me as a very independent, loving, and caring person. The independence was, kind of like a struggle for her, but that's just always been there. So
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So what's one of your favorite memories as an empowered daughter?
Well, right along with what I just said, right before my mother passed away, she came to my room, which she just never did this. And we had our struggles, but she put all of our differences aside. And, she told me she knew that I came here to do great things. And it's a very tender place for me, but this was a big turning point for me, and what has helped me continue to be able to accomplish so much in my life.
I feel and I sense that that's a very tender place, and how beautiful that your mom was able to express that to you before her transition.
Exactly. No, we had such a difficult time together, and we kind of, she just had a hard time with my independence, and anyway, I love her dearly, so I'm so grateful now that she's on the other side helping me.
Yes. I know. Isn't that amazing to be able to still feel connection and feel that spiritual guidance, really,
Totally.
that assists us with our own guidance within, which is, I think, some people don't get that yet, or may negate that. And it's something that I've come to understand with my mom and dad's transitions too.
Totally. It's such a, it's part of growth and expansion. And it's something that I think some of us dread, or we don't really look forward to, but oh my gosh, it just opens up whole new worlds for you. And yeah, I mean, my mother, my dad are still with me, and I'm aware of that constantly, and they're, part in my life and how they're helping me. So beautiful. Thank you, Beth.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I have another question for you about the flip side of that. What's an example of a time that you felt very disempowered as a daughter?
Well, I told you my mom and I struggled.
Yes.
And she did not know what to do with me. But anyway, when I was about 16, my mother gathered up all of my skirts and dresses while I was at school one day, and she let the hems out to make them all longer. It was back when we were wearing mini skirts, and oh my gosh, that was devastating to me. I can't even tell you. I was like, whoa, and I didn't have that many clothes, but all of my favorite skirts were like, down to my knee. And I'm like, how could she do that? So yes, at the time, very disempowering.
Yeah. And, a lot of times when those kinds of things happen, it's that struggle between what one may feel they know best, or this is the way it's to be done, and that need to be a part of the style, the culture, be like your friends, or just that independence of this is what I prefer or what I like.
Definitely. Yeah, that last one was totally me. I mean, I have not usually been one to follow the crowd. I've been a big pleaser, but
Right.
not follow the crowd. I've always kind of been my own, I had my own way and followed my own path. But yeah, it was really that was really difficult for a very independent young woman who felt very, it really was. I mean, when you said disempowered, that was the first thing that came to mind, because I still remember it as if it was yesterday. But I
Yeah.
know she did it out of her own concern and her best judgment.
Right.
It wasn't to punish me or anything. She was concerned. She was concerned. I'll put it that way. So,
Right. Well, and we know with the work that we've done that there are two um, areas that we can operate from, right? From love or from fear. And in looking back on situations in my own life with my own family, my own mother, for myself at times, being able to recognize, wow, I was really operating out of fear, and that concern, like you were just talking about with your mom, for you, it was coming from that more of that fear based, that false evidence appearing real, as opposed to being in that love space of maybe having that conversation to talk with you about why it was that you were deciding to do that. There wasn't that conversation. It was more of, I'm going to fix it so that you can't do that. And that happens, I think, so many times in relationships. And it can be between parents and children, mothers and daughters, mothers and sons, friends, other family members. I mean, you really can put any role in that scenario. And there's many times that, one person's coming at it from a fear-based space, and the other person may be coming at it from a very different place, more of that love of embracing life or embracing an experience. And then that becomes that conflict that occurs.
Yeah, no, you're so right, Beth. And when a very controlling and structured person comes and encounters a free spirit, oh my gosh. But the truth is that I needed to learn a little more structure, and she needed to learn to let go a little bit. So, that's how we attracted each other, and it's so perfect. But I love it. And it's so true. Her decision to do that was really based on fear, which fear of something that hadn't happened even.
Right.
She felt that she could control it and prevent it. And, I totally understand. So awesome.
Yeah, it is. We learn these things as we go along, and in the moment it may not feel that way. And another guest I we had an interesting conversation. I would love to know what your thought is on this, of that we attract we kind of choose our parents or pick our parents. And what's your thought on that theory or perspective?
Oh, there's no question that I chose my parents. I believe that before we even come here on a soul level, we have a contract with them, and we come in and we choose to be in that particular environment to learn the things that we need to learn, experience the things that we maybe want to as a soul, to expand and grow. And it's whenever you bring more than one person together, you create an alchemy, and it is an energy that is totally different from it's not repeatable. You can't recreate it, but it is unique, and it is for everyone's highest good in that particular group. And yet everybody's experience of it is totally different. So I'm sure if she were here in this interview, she would have a whole different perspective on what happened. But, the truth is, I know that we definitely chose our parents for, our development, our growth, our, maybe just because we wanted to learn what it was like to be in that situation. And yeah, no question, no question. And that goes for all of our life and the people that we attract.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Nada. I appreciate that, because I think sometimes when I started hearing that, and it just brought a different perspective to be able to look at learning and growth opportunities and the people that I'm attracting, and the whole law of attraction piece. When I started learning in the last 5 years more about that, it just all makes so much more sense to me than before, when I was, not really clear about some of those roles and relationships and the alchemical piece that was there, and looking really at every interaction and seeing, well, what does that have to do with me? So it's really coming back to ourselves as we learn about our roles and how we can continue to grow and expand our perspective. And as you said, if your mom were sitting there, she would have a different perspective. I know if my mom were here, she would have a different perspective, but that's how we learn and grow and what we teach each other. Mm-hmm. And so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No, thank you. I totally agree with you, Beth. And you and I have been on this journey for quite a while together. So, it's fun to even experience the difference in our relationship, the alchemy of it, as we both become more of who we are. So, yeah, way fun. Totally agree.
Yes, indeed. Well, what tools or strategies have you expanded on or grown over time as a daughter that's helped your relationship with your mother? We've talked a little bit about that, but do you want to expand on that a little bit more?
Well, really, Beth, it's been my inner work, probably mostly since my mother passed on, but especially with forgiveness and acceptance and, realizing, like we said, she was doing the best she knew how at the time, and for her own growth and development, what needed to happen. But as, reflecting back to me, also what I needed to learn and, develop and knowing as well. So being able to connect with her soul to soul it's helped me realize just how much she's been helping me and cheering me on and holding my highest vision from the other side. I mean, I can't even express how powerful our inner work is when it comes to healing relationships, understanding them, absolutely, if you will, like getting the most out of, what would have made us attract that kind of an experience and that kind of thing. So, as you know, one of my big things is light body, and it continues to be, because it is a way of going really deep within and to, and deep down to the, the roots of, the beginning of everything, in order to go higher and become more. It's just so what I'm all about is becoming more of who I truly am and reflecting that back to other people, so that they learn that they can do the same thing. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to be like your mom. I want to share this really quickly.
Sure.
But my mother happened to pass away rather young. Mm-hmm. And when I hit that age, I was freaking out, because I thought that, she was my only female model at that point. And, I was like, oh no, so is this it? It was crazy. There was nothing wrong with me or anything. Mm-hmm. But after she passed, that was really the turning point for me, when I realized, because it was just like an empty slate. It was like, okay, I don't have to follow her lead anymore. I can create my own reality now. That was really the beginning of the shift to becoming more authentic and real of who I am. So up until that point, that was the only model really that, you know, had the biggest hold on me. And even though I fought it, resisted it, I kept seeing her come out in me, and I go, oh, I don't want that, you know. So, but anyway, yeah, very, very powerful, to be able. This life is really about self-realization as far as I'm concerned. And everybody out there, parents, friends, teachers, they're just mirrors reflecting back to us either things that we are not able to see in ourselves that would help us to grow if we did, or to help us see also things that maybe we could improve or shift or change. And, you know, even in that contrast, we do get clear on who we are. And it's fun. It doesn't have to be this big trauma, drama, stressful thing. It really is exciting. And it can be a lot of fun to learn who you truly are and live from that place.
Well, you are an awesome model for that, Nada. And I just continue to learn and grow with you and learn from you and the reflection that we have happening between ourselves. And, you know, you mentioned so many key things there that you don't have to see it from that drama, stressful perspective. It can be fun. And when we focus on ourselves and that inner work, that's where it begins. We can't change somebody else. We can't make someone else be a certain way, act a certain way, say things a certain way so that it doesn't upset us or somebody else. But when we start really working on ourselves, there is so much healing that comes from that. And that's just a key thing that probably goes to the next question as well, as far as, you know, as a mother, you know, with your animals and such, you know, speak to that just a little bit, because you are mother to your 2 kitty cats. How do you see that, your energy interacting with their energy? What tools and strategies help you with that connection?
You know, my animal family has been my greatest, what would I call it? They have helped me the most in learning to accept, allow, and realize that I have no control. And in the most loving, unconditionally loving and supportive way, you know, I offer them my love and support. And yeah, of course, I feed them. And they, you know, they love that. You know, they come up to me and they're going, and so I know they're hungry. But anyway, gosh, I can't tell you, through all of it seems like I've always had animals in my life, and I've seen them come and go and come and go. And if there's one thing they have taught me, it's that we all have our own journey, and, you know, nobody else has control over that or can change that or affect that. And it's our job to respect that in each other and allow, you know, what needs to happen. You know, I used to think that I could, because they're small and they're little, these little animals, that I could control them. Probably like kids.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you may or may not see my cats go behind me. They usually don't jump up on my desk, but who knows? They might.
Right.
And I'm totally okay with that, but, you know, there was a day, and my husband laughs about it. We talked about it, and I go, do you remember how I used to be? You go, oh, yeah. You know, I was like, cats are so different from dogs in that they really do, they're very independent. Mm-hmm. And so reflecting back, that part of me, and, you know, somewhat, since I don't have, you know, what would I call it, human children, mm-hmm. They are the ones, you know, my mother would always say, you just wait. You just wait till you have children.
Yes.
And I would go, oh boy, if that didn't make me not want to have children, it was like, oh no, So, but anyway, I firmly believe that by having animals, and especially cats, it's taught me to learn more about my own independent nature and what I need and require, and to love that part of myself. And as I learn to love and accept it in each one of my animals. So,
oh, I love that. And we both have cats and we have no children. And so that just was like, oh, wow, you know what? I appreciate that too. And I'm embracing that independence for myself as well. So, wow, thank you. That was just a great nugget of wisdom that you just shared that just so resonated with me. Oh, goodness. Well, what is one of the most wackiest fun things that you have done as a woman, Nada?
oh boy,
Daughter of the universe.
which one? Okay, there is something that I did when I was like probably in my late 40s that I will never forget. Every time I think about it, I smile and I laugh. But I was with some friends, and I literally, we were walking through the woods in Yellowstone National Park. And I do not know what inspired me, but I was just in sandals. I mean, I really, really was very much free spirit. I took my sandals off and I started to run through the woods, the trail. And it felt like my feet weren't even touching the ground. I mean, you'd think, oh my gosh, the woods, bare feet, it must have hurt. And I ran for quite a ways. It was pretty warm. I remember it was getting hot, and we hit this like river. And I just jumped right in with all my clothes. I didn't hesitate. I just, and, I just laughed so hard. And, we had some kids with us and they followed me. And it was so much fun. And some of the other adults with me kind of joined in, kind of like, huh, okay, here we go,
Follow the leader.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, how fun though. I would love to have been there, Nada, to just see that, because knowing you now, I could see you doing that. But if somebody had known you from before, would they have said Nada would have done that? Or is that something that they would have said, yeah, Nada would have done that? Is that something that you've always been fun loving like that and free and willing to just jump in?
Always. It was never allowed to come out, so to speak, or at least I felt that way within my family and, different schools and situations I was in, because I was, sort of being squeezed into a box. But when I had the chance, that was definitely me. I remember more than one occasion when I felt safe around the people I was with, that I would just, be fun and, just go for it and try to get people to lighten up.
Wow. What a beautiful vision of that from what you just shared. So thank you for sharing that, Nada.
You're welcome.
Well,
thanks for asking.
You're welcome. What is a book that you and your mom have both read or had both read and that you have both enjoyed?
My mom was a very spiritually oriented, or she would probably call it religious woman. And so she always had two books by her bed, and one was the Bible. And the other was a little book of daily positive thoughts. I honestly don't know who it was by. But, it would have something to read for every day. And so, I definitely also read the Bible. I learned to, appreciate it and learn a lot from it. More so as I got into, the QSCA, and I was able to correlate that to everything that we teach through law of attraction and all the other universal laws. And it was was really exciting for me. But I used to go in and I would read her little daily positive things. I don't know if she ever knew I did that, but I would open it up. And, it's kind of cool because when I think about it, in her own way, she was connected to law of attraction and all of the positive things that I am learning on a more grounded and real basis. But, she was doing her best with it at the time when it wasn't so mainstream.
Cool. Neat connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is a habit that you've picked up from your mom that you now share as a daughter of the universe?
This is so much fun. But she always used to say that it's all about presentation. Okay.
Yes.
And this was referring to the great meals that she used to prepare, and that she would, and it was just like amazing. I mean, she could have worked at a restaurant, but but it also had to do with how others perceived her. And she always looked amazing, and her meals, they were truly like, oh my gosh, they were out of this world just to visualize them and then just to taste them, but they were full of her love. And so her confidence and her connection with her own self came through in how she presented herself and in the food and the meals that she prepared. And I so get that now. And as I said, she truly was in touch, I know, with the law of attraction. And even though she had no idea what it was, but I have a feeling that once she crossed over, she was able to help me find that and help me, heal my own life. So, but I love that. It's all about presentation.
That's I can see that on the back of a bumper sticker, or on the back of a car on a bumper sticker. It's all about presentation. So if I see a car in the parking lot one day out in Utah, I might be like, I wonder if that's not
a car.
There we go.
Oh,
goodness.
beautiful.
Well, Nada, this has been just such a delight, and our time is getting close to closing up our time together for this interview. But I wanted to let people know how to get in touch with you if they have further questions or wanted to connect with you from something that you shared in this interview today. How can they get in touch with you?
You can email me at Nada, which is N as in neighbor, A, D as in dog, A, at nadasessentials.com. So it's plural nadas. So it's NADAS, and then ESSENTIALS, all one word. And I'd be happy to hear from you, answer any questions, or help support you any way that I can. I also have a website that is nadasessentials.com.
Wonderful. And you also have a free gift for people today. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, I'd love to, Beth. Thank you. Yes. When part of this journey to becoming authentic, I was inspired to create this group coaching program that we go month by month. And the very first month, I am giving away the recordings to those calls. They're audio, they're raw, they're real, and they're real people. And they are 3 meditations that I was divinely inspired with, and then 3 different processes that we go through that touch on who am I, what makes me so unique, and what are my gifts. And for me, that is just the core basis of becoming more of who you truly are. So I would love for all of you to sign up for that, enjoy it, let me know what you think, how you enjoyed it. And then if you want to continue the journey, we are continuing again and starting again another round of coaching in May.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for inviting my community to join in with you and take part in these fabulous opportunities to continue to deepen that authenticity, to deepen that inner work, to be real. Because, you know, as we talk about, real empowerment allows love, especially in those relationships with one another, and how we interact together, and how we can continue to grow and expand. So is there anything else you would like to, another nugget of wisdom that you'd like to leave with our audience today?
Well, what you just said, Beth, was beautiful, and it leads into the fact that, you know, you have to love and accept yourself enough to be yourself with no apologies, no excuses. And the other side of that is you have to love and accept other people, you know, especially say your mom or your daughter, in the same way as they are. And that truly is the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself and everyone else around you.
So beautifully put. And I so appreciate you being a part of this interview series today. And I invite you to check Nada's information out. It will be at the end of this video, and how you can contact her via email or checking out her website and downloading the free gift. And Nada, again, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation today. And, you know, be in that real space of real empowerment allows love in your relationships. Get them to be real relationships, especially between mothers and daughters, and with other women that you are connecting with, so that you can be true, be you. So be well, everybody. Until next time, take care.